back to Main Street Living. If you like movies that are true stories, underdog stories, or just good news, heartwarming stories, then there is a new movie just out that you need to see.
Yes, and our good friend Mike Nabors is here to share all the fun details. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Good to see you.
Good to be on with you guys. How are you?
Hey, doing pretty good, Mike. Like being able to see this movie is going to be great for me. But first of all, you're known as the Saints insider because you've covered the New Orleans Saints for so long. You work closely with the future Hall of Famer Drew Brees for many years, but you also do reviews of sports movies, right? And recently, you got a chance to talk to some of the stars from the new movie Air. What is the premise of the movie? And you got to give us a scoop. Did you enjoy it?
I really did. I've been doing these reviews for many years. You never know who exactly you're going to get in the movie. Sometimes you get actors together, but this movie is really good, guys. And I got to say, with COVID and everything that's changed with the movie industry, with streaming, we haven't been able to see movies like this in the theater for a long time. But Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have just started this production company where they want to change that and really work with a lot of production workers who haven't been maybe treated like they think they should be over the years. So this is their first project in that regard. And this movie on the surface is about Michael Jordan, but I don't want to give up too much, but Michael Jordan's not in this movie. The two central figures are Michael Jordan's mom and Sonny Vaccaro, who work for Nike and work with Michael Jordan's mom to make all this happen. Because back in the 80s, the big shoes were Converse and Adidas. Right. Nike were running shoes, and they work with tennis players. So this was a major shift in sports marketing and the sports shoe industry, and eventually with their Jordans.
Nice. You're teasing us about this. And so before we go on talking more about the movie, let's take a look at the trailer.
1984 has been a tough year. Our sales are down, our growth is down.
Sonny, I brought you in here to grow the basketball business.
People don't know what the hell a Nike is.
What's a Converse?
NBA All-Star shoe.
There's nothing cool about Nike.
You would have to have a pretty compelling pitch.
I can tell them the one thing the other companies can't compete with. Our basketball division is terrible.
I do not love it. This is where you come up with a brilliant idea that no one else can see. Let's hear it.
I got it. I found him.
Who's that? Jesus? Can't afford it.
I'm willing to bet my career on one guy.
My name's Sonny Vaccaro. I'm with Nike.
Do you typically make it a habit of showing up at people's front doors unannounced?
I don't like to take no for an answer.
Oh, man. Here we go.
You ask me what I do here. This is what I do. I find you players, and I feel it this time. Yeah, okay, it's risky. When you were selling sneakers out of the back of your Plymouth, that was risky. Don't change that now.
For a rookie?
Yes.
Who's never set foot on an NBA court.
That's the literal definition of rookie, yeah.
What's the plan?
We build a shoe line around just him.
I need the greatest basketball shoe that's ever been made.
Who's the player?
Michael Jordan.
Your motor is...
You have our attention.
You show up at the house?
I believe in your son. I believe he's the future. And his story is gonna make us want to fly. But a shoe is just a shoe.
Until my son steps into it.
You got a name for it?
Air Jordan.
I don't know.
Seriously?
Maybe it'll grow on me.
Okay, there's a lot of big names in that one. It looks like something I would really enjoy seeing.
Yeah, I have to say, honestly, it feels like I was there because I remember growing up during that time. But Mike, you actually had a chance to talk to some of the stars of the movie, including Matt Damon. So let's take a quick look at one of those clips.
Matt, you've been a part of so many projects. Why did this one appeal to you? I know you're a big sports fan, but it had to be more than that.
Yeah, well, first of all, the script was great, and it's just a great story. And the Air Jordan and Michael, they're such a part of everybody's life now, right? And so I'd forgotten a lot of this stuff, and it recontextualized this whole time when Nike was an underdog and they were I'm like, what? Like, I barely remember, because I was a teenager when the Air Jordan came out, and it was like from that moment on, they were the coolest shoe, period. Like, and they have been for 40 years or whatever. So it was very fun to kind of go back and look at this underdog story and the cast of characters who made this whole deal happen. It's just a great story, and that's why I wanted to do it.
Wow, it is crazy. It is crazy to think that Nike was ever an underdog, man.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I mean, looking back, that's what many generations take for granted, because Nike is there in the top 5 shoes now, but so is Air Jordan. I mean, they're top 5 over some big names right now. But the story, I wondered, talking to these characters, how real were a lot of these scenes? And they told me they tried to stay true to this. And Ben Affleck wanted the blessing of Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan had a few requests, but one of the big ones is he wanted Viola Davis to play his mom. So they felt pressure after that conversation to make that happen. So he and Damon, I know, are really proud of this movie. Everything is not, perfect in terms of reality, every word, but the scenes are pretty close. And talking to the actors and even Sonny Vaccaro, they back that up when I talk to them.
Oh, it's so cool. And in the movie, Matt Damon plays the character of Sonny Vaccaro. So you also got to speak with him, which I think is so cool. Let's see what Sonny thought of the project.
Sonny, I know Matt is sitting next to you, but how did he do playing you?
That's the toughest question anybody. How could I possibly be a critic of Matt Damon? I mean, now I'm going to turn that right on you. I refuse to accept that question in order to maintain my integrity. How honored am I that someone like Matt Damon chose to be involved with a movie with Sonny Vaccaro as the character? That's what I will say.
Nice.
Yeah, if you would have Sonny Vaccaro back in the 80s, or even maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago, Matt Damon's going to play you in a movie, I think he would have gotten a kick out of that. Matt Damon had to gain some weight for this role, but he's not bald like Sonny Vaccaro. So I think Sonny, is laughing at my question a little bit, but come on, guys, let's be honest. He's got to be feeling pretty good that Matt Damon's playing, right?
Right? And to gain weight for a role, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I give them a lot of props. Q, would you do it?
I mean, I'd be honored, but I mean, come on now. I mean, you get a big star like Matt Damon that's going to play you. Nobody could write that script, pun intended.
I know. Well, this is so much fun. And Mike, you talked to more stars from the Air movie, but we have to take a quick break. So stay right there, everybody. We're going to have more from Mike Nabors with Jason Bateman and Chris Tucker coming right up.
Guys, welcome back to Main Street Living. Now, we are back with Saints insider and sports movie critic Mike Nabors. He had a chance to talk with the stars of the new movie Air. Thanks for staying with us, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, I'm kind of envious of this. You got to talk to all the big names. In the last segment, we heard clips from Matt Damon and Sonny Vaccaro, the real life man that Matt Damon plays in the movie. But you also had a chance to visit with one of my faves, Jason Bateman, who plays Rob Strasser, who was Nike's VP of marketing. Let's hear what you talked about with Jason.
All right, Jason, you were in Teen Wolf, but you played a lot of different roles, but I'm not thinking a lot of sports movies. I'm wondering, how big a sports fan are you? And growing up, did you have Air Jordans in the 80s? Did you wear them?
So Teen Wolf 2 qualifies as a sports film. Is that right?
Yeah, a little bit. Basketball.
Well, that was one. Mine was boxing.
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
But not even you saw it. Just me and my dad. I love sports movies. They're tricky to do because they can get kind of earnest. But Ben did a great job with this one.
Okay, before I say anything else, Jason Bateman's hair. Can we talk about his hair?
Wow.
Yeah.
First off, the Teen Wolf thing, along with the hair was probably worse than Teen Wolf. I pride myself on research, guys. but I think Jason Bateman alluded to it. I didn't see Teen Wolf 2, but I wasn't alone. Not many people saw Teen Wolf 2. Kind of hurt Jason Bateman's career until he rebounded with Arrested Development, then Ozark, and everything that he's in now. What's great about meeting a lot of them, and obviously, you don't get to know people, but you do in terms of an interview, is that Jason Bateman seemed like the same guy that we see on talk shows and in movies, self-deprecating, doesn't take himself too seriously, and that was refreshing to hear. But this is a great movie in terms of casting because Jason Bateman's perfect for this role, and we'll get to Chris Tucker coming up to it.
Oh yeah. In fact, Chris Tucker is in this movie as well, as you just alluded to, Mike. He's playing the part of Howard White. Okay, he was a Nike executive, and I believe he was the only a black executive that Nike had, I believe, at the time. So let's hear what Chris had to say about his real life experience there at Nike.
The probing question I have, Chris Tucker, though, in the 80s, growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, did you wear Air Jordans?
I did. I got my first pair. It was Air 4s. I see the Spud Webb jersey too. Love it, by the way. And the 4s. And because people have been asking me, and I had to say I knew this what they looked like, and then I had to look them up. But that was the first one. I had to save up my money to I worked for my dad, Tucker's Cleaning Service, and I had to save up. I don't know how much those shoes was, $100-something for like a month or so, and I got those 4s. So yeah.
You know what? Chris Tucker actually bought his first pair when he was a kid. I didn't get my first pair. These are my first two pair of Nike 1s, Air Jordan 1s. And I got these in my 40s. So my parents wouldn't buy me the Jordans. They cost too much.
I don't blame them. You didn't need them when you were a kid anyway. But now you have them. Now you have them.
These shoes are going to last me forever.
I'm sure they will. You'll hold on to them forever. But gosh, this has been so much fun. And Mike, where can our viewers see the movie Air? And also, how can they keep up with you? Because you're talking to some pretty high rollers.
Well, I appreciate it. Great cast. I highly recommend this movie. Unlike some movies recently, this is going to be in theaters. And I know Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are proud of that from a production standpoint. So it'll be in movies, debuts this week today. So I know, it's going to be available to sports fans, but really this movie is something, if you're not a sports fan, you'll appreciate it too. And I mentioned earlier, if you're a lover of 80s music, you'll enjoy it as well. But you can catch me on Twitter at Mike Nabors, N-A-B, as in boy, O-R-S, and at MikeNabors.com. As always, love to be on with you guys. I appreciate it.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us. And, enjoy telling other people about how good this movie is too. All right.
Oh, I know. And the music. Oh, the 80s. Takes me back to my childhood. Thank you. Oh, good stuff.
Oh, wow. Well, Cheryl, up next, we're going from the ultimate shoe to finding the ultimate hot dog. You're going to stick around for this one. Yeah. Jordans.